We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast.
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. Hello and welcome to High School Famous. We're rocketing through this. We're off to an amazing start.
No, this has been horrible today.
It has. I wonder if we'll end up deciding to keep any of this recording.
I guess we'll find out. The audio issues today have been phenomenal. Anyways, hey.
Hi.
I am Matt.
I'm Sean.
And So, Sean.
Yes, Matt.
You came up with the title of this podcast, and you sent it to me the other day.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
Well, it came to mind when I was listening back on our first go at it, but it kind of made me feel that we, along with probably a lot of people, were sort of a quote-unquote big deal in high school. But obviously, once you get out of high school and you head into real life, you're just one in the sea of many. And you're less significant. So I thought it was funny, the idea of someone declaring themselves high school famous, as in they had a certain level of notoriety in high school alone and didn't achieve anything beyond that outside of high school.
Right. So what it kind of ended up meaning to me, as I thought about it more these last couple of days and stuff, is like, especially because the last few weeks or whatever, we've kind of reconnected with a couple people, or at least more so me, because I guess you've kind of had a connection with some of these guys for a while now, but, just old friends from high school and stuff, and kind of getting reconnected. And they keep telling stories about things we may have done in high school or things they remember of us doing in high school. Yeah. And so what it kind of ended up making me feel like is like, we maybe felt like we were quote unquote famous in high school, but probably really kind of weren't. We probably, amongst like our group maybe, but in the general, like, speaking of everything, like, we didn't probably know as many people as we thought we knew. And so now it's just like hearing people tell these stories of like what we've done, like what we did back then, and that they remember, and they're like laughing about like, oh, this crazy thing that happened or that crazy thing that happened. And it's not so much that we were famous in high school, but now we're high school famous. Like, now we're being remembered for the things we did back then. So now our fame is like high school based. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
That's kind of how it like worked in my head. It was like, and it seemed very fitting, at least for the last, few weeks of what's been going on.
So it's sort of like a legend, or not a legend, but a reputation developed over time that wasn't necessarily there in the moment in high school itself. Right.
Yeah. It's just kind of like this weird, like, afterthought thing that all of a sudden now it's like, oh yeah, I remember when you did this or that. And it's just like I've been told stories that I don't remember, which is bizarre because I remember everything.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. I always remember all the stupid details of dumb stuff. And then all of a sudden somebody will tell some sort of story and I'm just like, oh yeah, that happened. Or I don't recall or whatever, but.
So would you compare this to something like a movie that doesn't do well in the theaters, but then develops a cult following once it's out on like home video or something?
Oh, I wouldn't want to say that we have that kind of clout, but but it's kind of
not to that level, but
it's kind of almost feels like that, at least amongst the few people that we've kind of chatted with recently, and how they're, it's just kind of been weird. So when you said, when you threw that title out, instantly it was just like, that feels super fitting right now, as, because, I don't know. I think me and you definitely had a specific reputation in high school of being those goofy guys who did stuff, and like, we were always joking and playing off each other and everything. And so to hear people still bring that stuff up is just kind of interesting, that we still kind of have that reputation.
It's weird to hear stuff come up again, especially after so many years.
Right.
And I remember not long after high school, you'd still be running into the same people. A lot of people from high school, because a lot of people maybe didn't necessarily leave town right away or something. But I got a little irritated because I didn't want to only be known for these things I did in high school. I was hoping I was going to
Right.
go on to be known for many other things.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of fun to hear again.
Now it's, we're approaching the 20 years out of high school thing, and it's just kind of like, it's interesting now to be like, it's been that long and people are still not necessarily still bringing it up, but like, people are like still remember some of those things. And it's like, I never felt like I would have or had like any sort of like long lasting impact on somebody's memory like that,
Yeah, it's weird to think because we didn't put much thought into what was going on at the time. We were just doing dumb stuff.
Yeah,
because we thought it'd be fun. It is kind of cool. It's a little, I don't know if you want to say flattering.
It could be flattering. I hope, I don't want it to, I definitely don't want it to be like, oh no, like, I don't want to think of the fact that like people, I'm glad, I guess I'm glad they're more fond memories, or at least like funny memories than like, some of the people that I remember. And if I ran into them again, I would say like, wow, you were a real asshole in high school. Like, that's definitely not a reputation I'd want to hold on to. It
definitely depends on who we're talking to, who is recalling these stories, because we're obviously talking to people that like talking to us and we like talking to us. So they're going to have a good memory of it, whereas I'm sure there are plenty of people we went to school with that have a different viewpoint or opinion on some of the things we did.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty.
But just how we behaved in general.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of people that did not care for me or still don't, or I don't know.
We were quite obnoxious.
Looking back at it, yeah. At the time,
yeah,
we were hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. We were so much more funny than anyone else.
Yeah, we were the most clever. We had all the best ideas.
I feel sorry for those other people.
What other people?
Everyone else,
Yeah, no, I just...
They weren't as hilarious, and they didn't have as good of ideas.
As far as I'm concerned, those people never did exist.
What?
I don't know. I was saying, like, in my bubble. Like, anybody outside of that, of my genius, clearly just didn't exist. They weren't up to my level.
So if someone asks you what was the size of our graduating class, what would you say?
A few dozen.
The 10 of us that talk to each other?
I'm sure there was more than 10. I'm not about to count, but yeah, we had our little clique. That's the other thing that's weird. It's always, well, maybe not. I think I'm overthinking things. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what the title means to me. And I mean, yeah, obviously we're not going to spend every waking second of this just talking about high school, I hope, because that'll end up being pretty sad.
Quite sad.
But just, yeah, that's who we are and what we are. We are high school famous.
We are.
Yep. Roll credits.
So there's one thing I wanted to mention. Mm-hmm. We had a class where there was a segment where we were making T-shirts.
Yes.
With silkscreen.
Yep. You sent me that picture.
Yeah. So for everyone else, I was very lazy with my T-shirt design, and there was just some sort of shape tool in whatever program we were using, and one of them was a spiral, and I thought, well, this spiral kind of looks like a snail shell, so I'll just draw a little blue snail sticking out of it, and that'll be my shirt design.
Yep.
And I made it, and then when I put the shirt in, I must have either the screening piece or the shirt itself were in backwards or upside down, and so the snail was printed on the shirt upside down. And it made me like the shirt even more just because it made no sense.
It was your upside down snail shirt. There was no reason
for it to be. Yeah. And I know it was sometime later that maybe it was pointed out to me, or maybe I kind of realized it on my own observation, but it became apparent that it resembled a phallic image of some kind.
A dick?
Yeah, a dick and balls, we'll say. Precisely.
Yours specifically?
The jury's out on that.
Okay.
I will say for the record, for anyone who's curious, I don't have, too little antenna on the end.
I mean, if that's what you want to say is coming out of the end of the penis.
Oh, there's another element that I hadn't even thought of. So I found that old picture of me wearing it. I'm pretty sure we were filming that White Suburban Gangsters at that time.
Right.
So I sent the picture to our friend Josh from high school as well.
Yep.
And so for those, I'll describe it. The snail shell itself is just white. So the T-shirt was white. So it literally is just black lines making a spiral. and then the snail itself is dark blue. And so I sent it to him, and he said, "Are you holding a Hershey bar in the picture?" And I said, "I believe so." And then he said, "I now see the phallic nature of this image." And I said, "It's undeniable." And then he said, "But it's normally the other part that's blue." And I thought that was the best way to describe that shirt.
Yeah. What's weird, so I'm looking at the picture now. And what's weird is, I don't know why, but like, if you look at the like body part of the snail, it actually looks like a finger.
I may have traced my finger. But this was on a computer.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's no way you would trace your finger for that.
It does really look like an index finger, though.
Yeah, it's weird. Also, if this were a penis, like if it was your intention, which I know it wasn't, but if it was your intention to make a snail but make it look like a penis and then put it on your shirt upside down, just to like get away with, oh no, it's an upside down snail, but really you wanted to, why you would want to wear a penis around on your shirt, I don't know, but either way,
it's like the Tenacious D logo,
right? But
anyway, yeah.
If that were the case, it's a small penis and very large balls.
That's true.
Or it's a normal sized penis with extremely large balls.
Well, I did that because I didn't want it to be so obvious.
You made the shell bigger on purpose.
Well, this made it more believable that this was actually a snail I was drawing and not the male genitalia.
So we're going with the new reality that it was on purpose.
Sure.
Okay.
Even though, yeah.
All right.
Even though on some record, maybe not the record, it was definitely an accident. And it was completely 100% a snail.
Right.
But on another record, it's dick and balls.
Right.
All day long.
Yeah, because that was... See, I remember too, so my shirt that I made in that, I made some just weird design thing or whatever that unfortunately, once it was actually like silk screened onto the shirt, like fell apart really quickly, or like, over time it was just completely dissolved off the shirt. But then Josh had made that rabbit that was still... That was angry. It was like an angry rabbit. Like he just made like a rabbit at first, and then he added that big bottom jaw with the big huge teeth in it afterwards.
Yeah.
And then me and him collaborated and put his big bunny on the front of the shirt and put my design on the backs of our shirts. I wore that shirt for years.
It would have been even better, now that I think about it, with the snail shirt, if I had just listed a bunch of tour dates on the back.
That would have been funny, yeah. Make it seem like it was some sort of a band shirt.
Missed opportunities, man.
Yeah. The hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun class. We got that class. We got away with anything we wanted to do in that class.
I was just at Josh's place on Saturday night, and his kids are all playing. They all play Quake 3.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's so old.
Hey, I don't know. They're all playing it. They're all playing it against each other. And my son was there playing it. So the big deal with this class was so many of the kids in class, rather than focusing on doing the assignments they were given, they were just playing Quake 3 on the computers in there because it was a relatively new game at the time, and it was way more fun than doing the assignments.
Yeah, I don't even remember that part, that people were playing Quake 3. I just remember always playing Quake 3 at Josh's place because he had so many computers all the time. We didn't play Quake in the class much, but there were a lot of kids that were, and so the teacher kind of became a little desperate, and so he was basically excited and pleased if anyone turned something in. Mm-hmm. And so that gave us some freedom to decide what our own assignments were going to be. Yeah, he was very laid back. And I loved that, because there was plenty of assignments we were supposed to be doing. And then we eventually said, hey, can we make a claymation video? And he's like, okay. And that's all we had to do for the rest of the year was work on that claymation. I remember, never made us do any of the other assignments.
I remember which assignment specifically it was that we offered this up to be in place of, and it was you had to design some sort of cardboard stand that could display a brochure and a CD and some other couple items. So it had to have the compartment or the sections in the right dimensions to fit those items. Yeah.
Oh, I do not remember that.
You had to design some kind of thing like that, and that just sounded so boring because you're designing all the tabs and the parts of the cardboard that would fold in and click into itself, so it would be this rigid structure you could display these certain items on, and that just sounded dreadful to me.
That does sound
terrible. I don't remember how we came up with the idea of wanting to do a claymation video in general, but also I don't know how we decided that we wanted to present that as an alternative project for us to do.
It was a much more ambitious thing, but it was way more fun.
It was way more fun. Who did that? Who were all the people involved with making that?
It was me and you and Josh and Nick and Eric.
Nick Thompson was part of it?
Yeah, I think it was the 5 of us. Because...
Should I have not used his last name?
Oh, I don't know. You can bleep it if you feel we need to. It's a pretty common name. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Not if you look up our high school, I guess. But
they're coming for you, Nick Thompson.
But then again, anybody who's listening to this that knows what high school we went to without us mentioning it is going to know who he is already anyways.
They're already going to know who he is, yeah.
And it's not like we're saying anything bad about him.
I was just going to say, I'm not revealing some thing he did that would get him incriminated.
But no, I think it was the 5 of us that worked on it. Some of us more than others.
I remember getting so angry because sometimes some people would end up messing with the figures we had. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was so angry. I was so pissed.
We were like, one time I remember we were actually sitting there literally working on it, and somebody came by and specifically like smacked the desk we were working on, so a bunch of stuff fell over. I was like, it was just dumb high school shit.
Well, think of it this way. I mean, I was angry because we were actually doing something. Yeah. And they were probably coming in to sit down and play Quake or just screw around.
Right.
But at the same time, we were doing something, but we weren't doing what we were supposed to do ourselves. So was it fair for me to get angry?
Yeah, because because we were working on something that we got permission to work on that was actually going to give us credit for the class. So we still had a justifiable reason to be angry.
And we were doing it with passion.
Yeah, I think so. I liked the way it turned out, considering we had never done anything like that before.
Right. You obviously have a grander vision in your head and hope it turns out way more professionally looking than it does. But it was fun.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate part is I have no idea where there is a copy of this.
I don't either. I don't think I ever officially had a copy of it. I know for a while I had some of it still on like camcorder tapes, but I don't think I have all of it. I have I think I have a small chunk of it on like saved on one of my hard drives, but just a small bit, not the whole thing.
I wonder why you would only have part of it.
I have no idea.
Do you think there's any chance that teacher is still there?
I wouldn't think so.
There's probably a way to go to like the high school's website and maybe look at the faculty list or
I would
something.
think he had retired by now.
I just wonder if there'd be any way, and I think we discussed this years ago, but trying to reach out to him and see if we can get a copy from him.
Right. So I know he was showing it to people for a while after that.
Yeah. So he would have held on to it.
Yeah, I would have thought so. He was pretty happy with it. Yeah. The only reason I remember those of us that worked on it was because, I remembered Eric at the last second because his hand is the hand that's in it.
That's right.
That goes down and like crushes that
the
rock or egg or whatever it was. He cracked, it was a plastic egg wrapped in the clay, but I don't know if we really said what it was. But that's why I remember he was in it. And I remembered it was Josh, and then at the last second, Nick too. I believe it was Nick. Because when we all left for that week to go on that road trip to Chicago to see Tool, they filmed that little dance sequence with all the characters that we put at the beginning of it. Yeah, they didn't work on like the actual claymation. Instead, they take all the characters, line them up, and did a dance routine with all of them and filmed. It was like like a 10-second little dance routine they did. So
they essentially just made their own claymation video with the characters we made.
Right.
Because it was to completely different music.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, we just chose to put it to different music at the end.
We did that. I thought, okay.
Yeah. Like, I think they filmed that and didn't even show it to us until like after we were like editing everything to turn it in. And then they're like, hey, we did this. So just the fact that we were gone an entire week and they didn't do anything useful to the actual video. I thought that was funny.
I'm sure the professional directors we were like,
oh yeah,
this is our vision. This is how we must make this. So we must
we had no vision.
Make our vision a reality while we're gone.
We literally, the only things I remember for a fact that we knew ahead of time was like you drew up a character that we like ended up kind of making out of clay. Other than that, the main character guy. Clay. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like how accurate it was to your drawing, it was actually fairly accurate, I would say. But
yeah, I made him.
There was
yes, it was accurate.
All of us with all of our sculpting skills. Yeah, but I don't think we had like any other idea other than like just on the spot, like winging, like, okay, let's do something like this. Let's do this little weird scene. I just remember having those.
I think our whole.
Remember those weird little in the corners, those little, like we had like weird little like shapes made and somebody was just holding them in the corner, twirling them. So when we like.
Oh, no.
So like, yeah. So like the little character was on the ground like flailing around and somebody was like holding a little like piece of clay up in like a weird corner that was just twirling. Like none of it made sense.
I don't remember that actually.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that.
I remember our whole goal, the whole story was that this main creature was just going to be basically born and then die all within the video.
Yeah.
Like his whole life was going to be within the music video.
Yeah, which was like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
in the end.
We couldn't even fill a whole song.
Oh god, we didn't have enough time and we had absolutely no skills whatsoever. Like none of us knew anything about stop motion.
And we left for a week and the people that were helping us didn't do anything toward the main story.
Exactly. God. Dude, we got away with so many like just making videos for like every class we could. Anything we could do to make some sort of a movie or a video. It's like all we did in high school was just made movies and videos.
So I don't remember this teacher's first name, but I found someone on the staff list for that high school with the same last name, but is the lead custodian. So I don't think it's that guy.
Oh, okay. Probably not. That would be quite a demotion, I would think.
Yeah. But maybe at that age, that's all he wants to do.
Oh, man, I've done so much with my life. It's like, I just want to clean.
I don't want to be a super laid-back, lazy teacher anymore. I want to clean up puke.
The funny thing was, as lazy of a teacher as he really kind of was, in a sense, like, he was very knowledgeable. Like, he knew his shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what's just interesting about it. He's like, you actually learned stuff from him, but then when he's like, all right, now go do it, he just let you go do it and just didn't supervise anybody ever.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
He was sitting in his little office the whole time, just probably sleeping. That'd be funny if he slept through every, like, I don't know how many hours of the day that class was held.
Right.
You know, but it'd be funny if he was sleeping in every single one.
Dude, I was so bummed out when we went back, and visited after we graduated, like that next year, because, you know, we wanted to be cool and go back to high school right after we graduated. Just to like be like, yeah, we're cool, we graduated. But I was so bummed that department, everything down on that end of the school was all redone and super nice. And they had all that nice new studio space. I'm just like, oh, this would have been so awesome to be able to use all this stuff.
I know.
All the brand new cameras. Though. Yeah, we got to live through the mold. That was great.
Yeah, that was our,
that's our legacy.
We're the mold year. Actually, I think our legacy is probably the poop Nazi, but
yeah, that's another story for another day.
I don't know if we want to. Yeah. So, do you want to do anything with a yearbook here? Because I've got mine at the ready. You do. I don't know.
I don't really know if I had anything like super planned for that.
Yeah.
It was just a thought I had at one point, and I completely I dismissed it because I knew I didn't want to look for my yearbook. And then once I dismissed it in my brain, I completely forgot why I wanted to look for it originally anyway. So
yeah, probably means it was a worthwhile cause.
Yeah, it's, who knows? Maybe I'll revisit it at some point, but otherwise I won't. But so yeah, I was trying to think how many movies we actually made in school instead of actually doing because we always see, I feel like we always used making a movie as a way to avoid doing an upfront presentation in a class where everybody would write a paper and they would go up and they would present all the information, and me and you would just be like, all right, well, we're just going to play this video.
Yeah. Watch it. Oh yeah. I think we did that a lot, and I don't know if the health class video, was that the same thing where we were not necessarily supposed to make a video?
I don't know. It wasn't, we got permission to do it. It wasn't that we couldn't do it. It was just, we were the only ones who did do it.
So we were the only ones that made a video. So that's what I was wondering. If it was every group made a video and we just liked that, we lucked out there.
Nope, we were the only ones. And we weren't even, what I loved about that was we weren't even in the same class. Me and you both had different partners, and we just so happened to get the same, I believe they were all diseases that we had to do presentations about. And it just so happened that you got the same one that I had gotten. And so we just collaborated between 2 different classes. I don't even think we had the same. Did we have the same teacher?
I don't remember who my teacher was.
I don't remember if we had the same teacher. We definitely weren't. I don't know if we were just in different periods or if we had different teachers.
Let's I want to step back for 1 second and just verify with everybody that when Matt says he and I got the same venereal disease, what it means is we were assigned that particular disease as a topic to do a report on.
Oh,
I didn't want there to be any mistake about what you meant by.
Oh, you didn't actually get it? You only had to do the presentation?
I mean, I know you wanted to really go far into the research on it, but I don't think anybody else did what you did.
Then we must have had different teachers, because in my class, everybody had to get the disease, then do the presentation.
We must have had different teachers then.
Yeah, I mean,
and I thought you were I thought you were going to go a different route there.
I mean, I'll tell you what. Having the STD, not so much fun. Getting the STD,
right.
A lot of fun.
Now, here's the question. Did it help with the video?
I think it probably didn't make the video better. But it definitely helped me learn a lot about myself and my new situation.
Sure.
Yeah. HPV.
Well, this episode's all about regret.
There was regret.
I do miss those glasses I had in that video, though.
They were like orange or not orange, like blue and yellow glasses or something?
Yeah, the lenses were tinted different colors on the top and the bottom. So I forget if it was blue on the top, yellow on the bottom, or the other way around. But I don't know why I liked them so much, but I did. And
you wore them a lot.
What happened to them? I think I lost them. I think I just lost them somewhere.
I think you just lost them somewhere, yeah. Because I remember anytime we had seen that video or thought about that video since that time we made that video, which is almost 25 years ago. No, it's not. Because we did that in... So that's more
was that 9th grade?
That was 10th grade. So that's more like 21, 22 years ago.
Cool.
Yeah, but every time we've talked about that... Yeah. Every time we've ever talked about that video or seen anything about that video, like if we, I don't know, I mean, we haven't watched that video in forever. I don't even know who has a copy of that one either. But that's the one thing you always mention is that those damn glasses.
Yeah. And when we shot that part, I think there was too much light coming in from the windows behind me. So
you're like completely silhouetted.
My face was really dark. So no one could even see them anyway.
We knew nothing of cinematography at the time. I think that was literally the first video we ever did.
I think it probably was.
Right. Like I didn't even know what a camera was before that.
Oh, weird.
I'm kidding.
Boy, thinking of that, if that's the case, that project really changed your life in many profound ways.
Yeah. Some more permanently than others.
Yeah. I mean, you'll always know what a camera is now.
Right.
So there was that one, and then there was obviously the claymation one that we were talking about. Were there more?
Yes. So trying to make sure I remember which ones all were actually specifically school ones. I guess they don't necessarily have to be, but I know then probably Saturday the 14th was one of the first ones we did that had nothing to do with anything. We just did it because we wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I know that petting zoos was for something. We did that one for school too. I don't know what for or why. Because I can't think of a class that would pertain to.
Yeah, considering what the movie was even about, I don't know
which
what we would have been
nothing.
going for. Like, yeah.
And then the Mark movie, that everybody calls it the Mark movie. That one we did for a class as well. I thought that's what we were just talking about. The Mark movie? No.
Oh, wait, no, you were saying petting zoos.
Yeah, so petting zoos aren't open on Thanksgiving was another one of our spoof horror movies that we did that I know it was for school, but I do not know what we were doing it for.
Petting zoos was for school?
I believe it was.
Oh, man.
But I couldn't tell you what class or why. And then Every Hit's a Slap in the Face or the Mark movie, that was for a class as well. And I, again, don't remember what class or why. Because that one we filmed a lot of that in school.
Yeah. We did.
Those are the ones I can remember.
I had no recollection of petting zoos being for school.
I thought it was. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I swear it would have been for school. I'm just trying to think because it was me and you, Jared, Matt, Nick, and we had to kill Nick early because he had to leave. We killed him off first because he had to leave. I think that was all of us. I know your sister was in it too, but I'm just not mentioning her.
Right. We filmed a lot of that at my parents' house.
We filmed that entire movie at your parents' house.
Was the whole thing there? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we would make it in a night. So yeah, of course.
We made the entire movie in a couple hours at your parents' house, start to finish.
Yeah. So we weren't scouting out multiple locations in those days.
Yeah. No, that was definitely for school.
Not that we do that now.
I'm remembering now that was definitely for school, but I don't remember what class it was for because I remember showing it at school.
All I know is whatever class got to be the audience of that video probably had mixed feelings.
Oh, yeah. I, at this point in my life, have very mixed feelings about any of the movies we made. I think they're painful. They're bad, but they all have their moments. Mostly,
they all have moments, and
mostly now the moments are more so just memories of how dumb and funny they were to us, and just remembering of like the night and stuff. But
yeah, it's a way to remember making the movie in general, and you just have a fondness for them because it was a fun time in our lives, and we thought we were just getting away with anything because we could have an assignment given to us and then make some weird video that had nothing to do with it and somehow get a passing grade.
Yeah. I think the only video we ever did that had anything to do with what it was supposed to be about was that very first health video we did. Because we actually put facts in it, even though we presented them in a very ridiculous manner.
Right. And we'll give everyone a big clue. It's called the GW.
What?
The health video.
Oh, yeah. I already said HPV earlier.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And you can say genital warts.
I don't know if we were, because I didn't hear you say it. You kept calling it the health video, and I was calling it the health video, and I didn't hear you say HPV, so I was like, maybe we're just avoiding saying that for some reason.
Oh, no. I said it kind of faintly earlier, and I think you started talking at the same time, so it kind of like went over what I said.
It should be fairly obvious now, but if anyone still wants to try to figure out my clue, go for it. Maybe make it a fun game, I guess.
I also said genital warts right after you said GW.
Right. But anyone, if you still want to try to figure that out, the option is yours.
Yeah. So just rewind this, pause it right after, not before, but right after Sean says GW. See if you can work it out.
Just find the exact spot where I say that the hint is that it was called the GW, but don't listen to anything before it or after it, because that'll be a dead giveaway. If you really want to challenge yourself,
right,
you can only listen to that sentence, really.
Right. So, yeah. So do that. If you're listening now, stop. Unremember what you listened to.
Unremember?
It's unremembered. It's a word now.
No, you would just say forget.
No, I want you to unremember it. I want you to unremember everything you heard up until this point and before it, which is the same thing. I'm going to stop talking now.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep.
But, whoever can figure it out the quickest, maybe we'll offer up some kind of a prize.
Nope.
Nope, we won't. But if you're following the instructions correctly, as confusing as they may be, you will never hear us offer the prize.
True. Good point. I'm going to unremember that I said no. Done. All right. That just got weird.
Went off on a little thingy there.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, the only movie I think we actually ever completed that had nothing to do with anything that we literally just did for fun was Saturday the 14th. All the other ones, they were for school for some reason or another, but literally I can't tell you for the life of me why or what any of those movies were for and how we got away with having those be like projects.
Yeah. You're really blowing my mind with the fact that petting zoos and Every Hit's a Slap in the Face were for school.
They were both for school.
I just assumed that those were all for fun.
Nope, those ones we did as projects for some reason. Because I remember showing them. I don't remember exactly which classes we showed them in, but I do remember showing them in school. And my God, yeah. I'm just trying to think back at now. If I had to sit through those, having not been in them.
Oh yeah, it would have been miserable.
Like I know some people some people had laughed and people thought they were funny at that time because at that time, parts of them were funny. But it's like
everyone's sense of humor was at that level.
Yeah.
It was all 17, 18-year-old kids.
But I'm trying to think too,
stuff.
I'm trying to think too of the fact that these were just our classes. It's not like we were good friends with everybody in these classes or like these people all gave a shit about us. And it's just like, I can just imagine the ones that didn't care for us or just were just tired of us. I'm sure there was plenty of those too. Just like having to sit through our obnoxious ass videos of just nonsense. They were so nonsensical.
I'm sure our faces were just beaming because we were so proud of them. And we were just ready for everyone to think they were the funniest thing around.
Right. They're such garbage. I literally, I think now I don't know if I'd be able to sit through them. Like I could sit through them by myself, but like if me and you were in the room together watching them, I'd just be like, I can't do this. You and I would be able to sit and ridicule everything because we were both there and we were both, it was that. Imagine the thought of showing it to somebody new that is, that let's say you make a new friend with somebody and you're hanging out and you're like, oh, check out, I got these old videos that I made in high school. They were so great. Yeah. And to sit there and have someone else have to sit through that, you'd probably feel pretty cringy. Yeah. So you just reminded me of something of that very sort of incident happened to somebody else showing a group of people like an old video.
Really?
Yeah. So do you remember Dana's roommate? They lived in like a Big Lake or whatever. Lake? Yeah. I think she worked at like Perkins or something, or Denny's or something, or no, what was that restaurant she worked at? Or whatever. Doesn't matter. She worked at a restaurant in Elk River.
I remember her, but I don't recall what her name is.
Yeah, which is fine. They would have parties or whatever, and so people would go over there and we'd be hanging out at their place. And I remember she like used to go to some camp and they would make like end of the year videos or whatever, and there was like these two twin brothers that were like just the most hilarious dudes ever at these camps or whatever. So she like put in this video of them, like of their end of the year thing or whatever. It was this video that they were doing, and these two like brothers were like going around and like, oh, they were so funny and all this stuff, and it's just like, it was super cringy, like not funny at all. Like the funniest moment in the whole thing was not even their joke, but one of them did like one of the Deep Thoughts jokes from SNL.
Oh, the Jack Handy stuff?
Yeah, the Jack Handy Deep Thoughts joke. Like that was the funniest part of the whole video, and it wasn't even their joke. And it wasn't even like necessarily the best deep thought joke either.
One?
Yeah, it was the one of I think it was this one, if I recall correctly. Why I'm remembering this is like 15, 16 years ago. Probably longer than that. And I don't know why I'm remembering this video, and it haunts me to this day. The deep thought joke was it's really sad when families get torn apart by something as simple as wild dogs.
I remember that one.
And it is a great joke. Not the best one, but it's definitely a really good one. But I'm just like, that was the joke they told. So I instantly recognized it. I'm just like, this is the funniest thing that's been said. And she's just laughing at everything on this video. I'm just like, why are we sitting here watching this? This is so weird and awkward. So I can just imagine, doing that to somebody would just be horrible.
So I'm sorry, I forgot already. This was at one of their parties?
So yeah, we were at one of Dana's parties, and her roommate put this video in from her camp.
I must not have been to that one because I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, maybe you weren't there that time.
Or it's something I experienced in my life because I don't remember this at all.
True. It could be one of two options. Either you were there or you weren't there, and either way, you don't remember.
Right.
That's why you have me, Sean.
And then I remember there was some strange video that we had helped your sister make.
Yeah.
For her job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's the other one that we did for Mark's sister.
Yeah, that one's better. But like, so the one for my sister's work, oh my God, it's so bad. I might still be able to find that. Yeah, we were just the film team. Every time I think about that, I've blocked parts of that thing out in my mind to the fact that sometimes I remember the fact that you were there, and other times I do not remember that you were even there.
I was there. I'm sure I was there because we both like to film stuff, and this was an opportunity for us to do that. And it's also just so you can have another person running another camera.
But I think we only had the one camera.
So
I'm pretty sure I think it was just like, hey, Sean, I'm going to film something. You enjoy filming things too. We're funny.
Come with.
Yeah. Why don't you come with me? Help me do this. You know, we had the ideas and everything. Like my sister and her coworkers knew what they had a vision, I guess.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it from watching the movie, but they had a vision. So we were just there as the, like, I guess they knew what they wanted the scenes to be. And I think it was our artistic eye. That was in quotes, by the way. our artistic eye of like knowing what a film should look like.
Like maybe we were better at. Maybe we were there to direct. Like
we basically were
angles right. And,
yeah, we were the film crew and directors. It's a weird video.
Well,
she still works there too.
Similar to. Oh, really?
She still works there. Yeah, she's worked there since she graduated college. She's worked at that job.
Why hasn't she asked us to help her make more videos then?
I will have to ask. I will have to get behind to the bottom of that because I mean it was that was our award-winning work right there, if anything.
How old were we and how old was she?
We were.
I mean, were we maybe 20?
My God, yeah, maybe. I'd have to find out when that was again. I'd have to find out when. She just turned 41, so I'd have to find out when that was. No, she just turned 41 now this year. No, she wasn't 41 then. So yeah, I'd have to figure out when that was. That was definitely before she had kids.
The only reason I ask is I was trying to sort of gauge because the sense of humor that they all had. I'm like, they figured they had to all be like mid. Oh yeah,
they were pretty young too.
Yeah, to think that kind of stuff was funny.
Yeah, it's such a weird video. This is so good for anybody listening to this.
No description. Is any of this good for anybody? We didn't describe any of them.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. We mentioned horror movies and whatnot, but...
We did.
Yeah.
But then we did that commercial for Mark's sister.
Yep. That we completely... We basically did that project for her.
Oh, yeah.
We 100% did that project for her. Because what was it even supposed to be? It was just like she had to come up with like an invention?
I think she had to come up with a product to make a commercial for.
Okay. So instead of her doing any of that... Which... Me and you did, and me and you made the entire video, and she just happened to be in it.
Which, here's my question. Why were we never given that type of assignment?
I know. That would have been way better.
Make a video commercial for
that could have been our commercial.
Yeah, I know. I mean, to some degree it was, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, it was. It's just we didn't get any credit for it.
Here's how lame we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both went there to her class to watch it get played.
Speak for yourself, buddy. I definitely did not do that.
No,
I was not there for that. Yep. I was not there for the showing of that video.
I wonder if I'm just making that all up in my head. I wonder
if you even did it at all.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you are remembering something that you didn't actually do. So I'm going to be 100% honest. I do not believe I did that, but I also could just not be remembering that. Because I know we definitely went to the high school after, like, around that time. But I don't remember if we went there. I thought we went there after hours. Like, school was already out when we were walking around. It was, like, right at the end of the day or something. Because that's when we stole that picture off the wall.
Oh, the picture of the Got Milk thing?
Yep.
Oh, wow. We took that picture, huh?
I took that, yeah. I stole it because I had to have it. I'm like, this is... For context, it was... I talked about this on Travis's podcast. But these are posters advertising prom. And it's pictures of faculty members with milk mustaches. And it says, "Got prom?" That's the worst thing ever. How did they not...
That is a really...
How did they not think that that was sexual in any way? Like, somebody had to have known. Like, whoever came up with that was like, this is going to be funny. I'm going to get all the faculty to look like they have cum all over their faces.
You know what is really funny, though? I know that I didn't come up with that, but I could see myself coming up with that.
Right.
Without having anything vaguely sexual on my mind.
Right.
For the, that it's about. It's just, it makes no sense.
Well, and I also feel like if that would have happened a year earlier during our prom, I might not have even put two and two together like that.
Yeah.
But just the fact, like, being out of high school for a year for some reason wisened me up or something. I mean, I could have maybe thought of it then, but like just walking through there and just looking at those, it wasn't even like a second thought. It was like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that is horrible.
I thought you were going to say if that happened the year we had our prom, that you might not have gone to prom.
Oh, no. I just might have gotten cum all over my face. Silence. That's what I wanted. Thanks, Sean.
Oh, sorry. I think I was swallowing and I didn't.
I definitely heard a noise come from your end, but it wasn't laughter and it made me sad.
Well, I'm sure.
It was more of a silence of agreement of like, yes, you probably would have had cum all over your face.
Oh, now, see, I didn't even know what you said.
Oh.
I was just going to say, once I listen back to this, I will probably hear it and then laugh. Then.
Yeah, you said you probably wouldn't go to prom, and I said, yeah, or I'd probably have cum all over my face. And then you just gave me a dead silence after that. It hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings deep.
You kind of missed an opportunity to say instead that you probably would have got prom all over your face.
Oh, I mean, I think I did.
How many 101, everybody?
I had prom all up in my face that night.
I mean, there was, we faced prom head on.
Yeah, I was face deep in prom that night. That sounds sexual. See, now that just sounds like I'm like talking about some conquest I had on prom night. I didn't at all.
Like some coming of age teen boy movie.
Yeah,
we have to lose our virginities at prom.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
That would have been a way better campaign though if the posters said "Get face deep in prom."
That would have been far more, but that would have been a lot less like
coy,
or just like
subtle.
Yeah, it would have been way less subtle. It would have been very like, we know what we're saying here, and you know what we're saying here. We're just not really saying it.
Oh, get face deep in prom!
Get face deep in prom.
That to be
the title of this episode because it is. That is definitely the title of this episode.
The title is called Face Deep in Prom.
Or should it be Get Face
Very
Deep
good.
in Prom?
Either one.
Oh my god.
Well,
is this what every episode's going to be like?
I don't know. I hope they're better.
Oh yeah, this one had some ups and downs there, but oh my god, that was a fun ending.
Yeah, it ended on a good note. I like that.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Right, well, this has been an episode of High School Famous.
And now you can see why.
More of them. Yes, you can see where the title came from.
Yeah, promise. I promise this is not what every episode's going to be like. It's not just going to be us reminiscing about high school for once a week. I promise that as well, and I also promise that we will record additional episodes, as in more than just this one
at
episode.
some point, as in more than this one.
Oh well, yeah,
and that's for you guys. That's not for us. That's for you guys.
Right. I mean, I'm good with the one.
Yeah, I would be fine even not having this one.
Oh yeah. Well, let's just unremember it.
Yeah.
Callback.
Yeah, I already have. I know. Yeah. Very good. Bravo. No,
it's fine, Sean. I'm used to your silence after what I say now. It's going to be the new thing. I'm going to just throw some gold out there and you're just going to give me nothing. Just
That's going to be part of the shtick with this is you're going to keep trying to toss them out at me and I'm not going to give you anything back.
You're just going to have your mic on mute and then only unmute it when you talk real quick and then remute it real quick just in case you might accidentally laugh at something I say.
That probably would help the recording quality anyway.
Well, no, because it will not. The unaired episode is very choppy sounding at points for all the audio that got cut out of it from trying to cut out dead noise. So this time around, the editing process is going to go much smoother.
Yeah. So anyway, we're rambling, but this has been another episode of High School Famous. Goodbye. Oh, this has been the first episode of High School Famous.
Another for us, first for you.
Hey everyone, we're rambling.
Are we?
I messed that up. I messed that outro up, but this has been an episode of High School Famous. Goodbye.
Later.
If you like us, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as HSFamousPod. Email us at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. If you really love us, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/highschoolfamous. Remember, we love you and want to have your babies.